Yeah, I had a question here on this last video about what we used to use to tap, and I thought I'd dig this one out too. This is my brother's, what they tap trees with. It's a Proforce Tatanka, I guess that's how you say it. You know, exactly if that's the company that makes it, and an Echo motor, if it's their own motor, what it is. Looks kind of like in my Echo string trimmers and stuff. And like I say, just got a gearbox on it, and a regular drill chuck. And this looks like it turns to the right. I've never used this, never even looked at it. It's a hard, imagine that bit. Oh, I see. That's something they put on there for their depths. I know they switched to different taps than we used to use, and they use a smaller bit, and it's got a check valve, I think, in them. I haven't been involved in this in so many years. I know the tap my dad used to use was, I'm pretty sure, a 7/16, and it was a left-handed bit because that's the way them chainsaws would turn. So I don't know if they only use this 1 or 2 years since they bought it. They haven't done sap or syrup 4 years, 5 years now. Get your key for it. But I'd show this. This is what you can buy, made specifically for this. Of course, you can use any drill bit. I mean, you know, this ain't made just to tap trees. As long as that turns to the right, that you can use any drill bit will fit in there, as long as it turns the right way. But that's what they've been using. I'm gonna go see if I can find what we used to use and see. It's in pieces right now. I burnt the saw up, but I think it's still around here. Yeah, I just made a quick trip down here below the house. The woods along the road here, we used to tap these in here. And, you know, my brothers, they have tubing set up. And these are the taps they use for the drill bits in that tapper that they bought. You can see the size of it compared to my finger. I think that's probably a 3/8 is probably what it is. And I thought they had a check valve in them. I don't see or hear anything. I forget what the whole reason for that new design is. Seems to be what everybody goes to, but they do have, which tree was it? Yeah, this one here. This is one of the older style taps they used. And you can see the size difference compared to the other one. And I believe this was either 1/2 inch or 7/16 drill bit needed for these. Right there's an old tap hole. Right there's an old one. Of course, this tree's useless now. This is one of the trees I wanted the REA to cut when they were out here trimming lines. Chances it would go across and hit the wire across the road is slim, but that's what they used to want to do. Any remotely chance of hitting the wires, they cut it down. And that's the thing. Plus, that's the other thing. If I drop it, it's only got to go that way. And if I do drop it, it's going to land on the road. And you damage the road, then you're in trouble. I mean, it almost has to be taken down. Again, like I say, let it stand and falls on its own. Because I don't know if anybody would really want them. I mean, they'd have to take it up here. There's a good chance there's wire in the base of these trees. There's a tree down there, the township cut 30 years ago, and they hit wire in it. So I don't know if there used to be I'm sure this used to be fenced at one time. Because there used to be a barn up there. And the people that owned it, I mean, the barn's been gone probably 40 years now. But at one point, this was probably a pasture through the woods here or something. Who knows what happened 80 to 100 years ago. Now that's the difference in size taps what they use nowadays too. But like I say, I'll just show that difference between them drill bits. Like I say, I think I can find the drill bit that we used to use that goes on that tapper that we put on the chainsaw, but I can't find that adapter. The other thing I was looking for while I was down here and I didn't see, I'll save that for a story for somewhere else. I'll come down here with a rake or something and go through these leaves. There used to be a cross up here on the bank somewhere. And I don't know whatever happened to it. I thought it was down in here somewhere. I don't think they took it down. But that'll be a story for another day. Yeah, I'm out there hearing that semi-trailer just sit off to the side, store stuff in. And that's what I thought was in here, but that's the saw that my dad used to tap trees with. It says XL. I'm still not sure if this is a Super XL or just a regular XL. No, this ain't. This is the other saw I bought, or the other saw he bought. That's not the one. It's like the one. It's not the one that he tapped trees with. And I thought that was sitting here somewhere too. It don't matter. Both saws are junk. I'm not sure. I think this one might run. But the one he had was blue. And it's the same thing as this one, other than this is red. The blue one he bought like in the late 60s. And I know he bought a red one like this. Has to be this one. Because I bought one here a couple years ago too. But he bought a red one in the early 80s. And I think that was his plan too. Is he bought another one. Because when the tapper bit was on the saw, you didn't have a saw to cut wood with. And he did have problems with that saw. The one year he had to have a new oiler put on it. And no, this is a saw. Yeah, it's blue. Yeah, this is the saw. Alright, I must have taken parts off the other one. I thought it was the red one that I burnt up, seized it up for good. I don't know. This one turns over. I think this one might run, but it's got problems because of what I was doing with it. But yeah, this is the saw. And I think I probably screwed up the recoil on this one, and I took it off that other red one because I seized up that red one. And I don't know why this cover's on it. But anyway, I know he had to have the oiler replaced at one time, and it was red. And that body's blue. So yeah, this is the original saw. Yeah, because it's still got this hard plastic, where the newer ones have a squared or bolt-shaped plastic. But anyway, yeah, this is the saw. And this does have problems because I was cutting hay bales with it that I shouldn't have been cutting. But the difference was he ended up fixing this saw when the oiler went out of it. Which wouldn't matter because you don't need the oiler to tap trees. I say, I'm going back when we're talking when I was 10, 12, 13 years old. So it's going to be hard for me to remember all this. But the reason he could only tap with this saw is what you did, you took the cover off here. You have to take the clutch off the crankshaft. And then I can't find it. It used to be in a cigar box in the house. There's an adapter that's screwed on the crankshaft. Because I remember you had to take it down to the Homelight dealer when Homelight actually made a good saw and you actually had a dealer network like you have with Stihl and Husqvarna. And he'd spun the clutch off of it and put that other one on. And then your drill or tap bit would go into it, and it had set screws that would hold it. Now they do have, I believe, a drill adapter that works with this clutch. You replace the clutch drive disc and you still have the clutch mechanism underneath. And then when you let off the gas, the drill bit wouldn't spin. With the setup he had, it spun all the time. You didn't have no other options. But yeah, this saw, I do believe this one will run. I'd have to play with it here some. But I used to cut round bales of hay with that. So that's the problem with that one. Now I don't know what happened to the other red one. Here's the doors for my International. The tractor has a canvas cab kit to it, and I wish I could find the rest of the kit. All I have is the doors. I don't have the window parts to the kit. And if you can find them, I did find something somewhere on the internet one time. They want like $1,000 for the kit. I don't use it that much in the winter. I'll go see if I can find that other saw yet. In my other junk pile room. And the lights in here. Is that gonna work? That'll help. Here's the other one that I bought. Bought that one off eBay. That one will run. Probably needs a tune-up now. And that was the other thing. Why I forgot. Why he had to use the old 60s model home light instead of one like this, the red one from the 80s. In the 80s, they went to solid state ignition. And we were told by the mechanic dealer that if that kicks back, or when it shocks, if you install it out in a tree and it would get a shock to it, it would take the solid state ignition out. The 60s models had points and condensers yet. So for some reason you could run with the points and condensers, but you couldn't run it on these. But like I said, that saw, I don't think I screwed this one up completely. I started to burn these saws up. And that's why I ended up buying a bale chopper. I used to cut brown bales apart to bed cows with. And I don't know what the hell happened to it. Yeah, that's a hard nose. That's the bar. Problem I had when I was cutting round bales is one, most bars and chains, here's my Echo saw, the tips have sprockets in there, and that hay chaff would get in there and wedge that up, and I burnt up one bar doing that. So I ended up buying this bar. It's a regular hard nose, doesn't have no sprocket in it, and that kind of eliminated that problem. But the other issue is, and I don't know where the hell that's went to. I think it's this chain. No, it ain't that one. And as you can see, I'll do this out here in the daylight. If you look at a regular chainsaw chain, it has a hook to it. And that's where it cuts and drags your wood chips out. Well, another issue because of that and the way the hay is, it doesn't really cut it, it drags it. It'll snap it apart, but drag it. And then I've almost burnt this off too. You can see right there, I got it hot. All that stuff gets built up around your clutch area. And it just sits there and burns and sizzles. And I think that's why I took that red saw, I burnt the bearings or something out of that. But I had, it's $130 some if I remember right. I had a chain that was designed to cut hay with. Probably fell on the ground there somewhere. But instead of having that hook over, it is straight. And it helps some, but no matter what, the saws just ain't designed to do it. Yeah, I guess I got it in a box somewhere else. I thought I had it in here. But the one problem I have with this saw right now, I have to have special gas. These old home lights were made to run on 32-to-1 oil gas mix. Where everything else I got is 50-to-1. And I've never been able to get a real answer. I could buy 40-to-1 pre-mixed gas, non-ethanol gas like a Tractor Supply, for all the more I'd be running this saw. But nobody would really answer, because somebody told me one time these newer synthetic gas oils mixes, you can run using that you can run 50-to-1 in this, but I don't want to burn it up trying that. 40-to-1 is closer, 40-to-1, and I even thought about buying that 40-to-1, and then I can, I got oil here somewhere to mix up gas with. Just add like another ounce or so to a quart and then make it 32-to-1. But that's the thing, I got to have a higher oil mixed gas to run that one than these other saws. That's an old Husqvarna, I believe that's a 51. That's a really nice saw. But I got a timing issue. I stripped the keyway out of the flywheel. I bought another flywheel off of eBay. And it ran there at one time and then it won't start again. And now I put them flywheels up against each other and it's like the keyway's off just a little bit. So I don't know if I got to find another flywheel for that, or if there's some other little issue. And then I got, like I say, this is my main saw here now. Is this Echo CS400. That's a really nice saw, other than I don't like them micro chains. I always have problems keeping them on sprockets and stuff. I like the 3/8 pitch chains. And then where the hell's the other one? I got another smaller Echo saw I run. But then I got this one too. Yep, this one. Oh, well, fall apart then. That's my bad boy. Husqvarna. Too much glare. Turn the light off here. See if that'll get it. 550 XP. Problem with that thing is, I've never found anything I've wanted to put it into. That's definitely not a saw I want to cut, tree limbs or cut brush. This is something I want to get into a hunk of wood, and I don't go out and... My brother cuts the firewood. I haven't done much of that in the last several years. I bought that saw maybe 5 years ago. I haven't started it yet. Like I say, I bought it because, well, I say that would be the big saw to cut stuff with. Other than being loud, these are nice saws to cut with. But I just haven't gotten anything. I don't want to just put one tank of gas in and go out there and cut a little bit. I want to get into something where I'm going to cut a little bit on to really run it. Oh, there's that other Echo saw. This is an Echo 306 LS. I bought this one off eBay. It came out of a pawn shop in Las Vegas. I forget what the hell I paid for it. I put they had a buy now, they had a bid. I guess it was an offer. I put an offer in, and the bid closed, and then like a couple days later, they sent me a note that they would accept the offer. So I ended up buying that, but that thing, I think the clutch is bad on it, because it doesn't take much to jump the chain on it, and it's been a hard starter and stuff. So Echo's been good, but like I say, And I said, maybe I threw out the other saw. I don't remember. I was laying here. It's in pieces anyhow, I know that. And then there's another one I rarely haven't used here lately. I probably bought that damn thing. It's an Echo motor. I forget what brand it is. Timberline or something. It's a pole saw. I can reach up 15 foot high and cut with that sucker. The only reason I haven't used it, the damn oil thing on it, it's miserable to fill, and all it does is leak. It doesn't hold much oil. But I bought that to cut tree limbs around the fields, and then never get a chance to run it that much. Like I said, I bought that thing. I bet I've had that 25 years. And I really haven't used it much in the last 10 years. But I guess it's enough of showing off my junk room. I really need to sort this out some a little bit, I guess. I had it cleaned up here once, and then a lot of it's messed up because a water pipe broke in here a year or so ago, and this was all flooded. Luckily, it didn't hurt much of anything, and it couldn't flood up here too much because this used to be our old milk house when we were milking in the old barn. And there's a floor drain up there that's plugged up with dirt there now, but there's a floor drain over there, and there's one back there where I used to have the washer up here with the dryer and would drain down that pipe. So luckily, I mean, this was flooded up to the door, but water was running out too. So it didn't really hurt anything. But it made a mess and moved stuff around trying to get the water out of here. Well, I guess that's enough in here. Put my saw back and get back at it. I just got back from moving hay, and while I was doing it, I was thinking that old chainsaw that my dad used to tap with, the reason why it has the red recoil on it, that's why, is because I pulled the string out of the recoil that goes to that saw. And since the red one was screwed up, I stole the recoil off that one to put on that blue saw to use it again. And then the red cover on the bar side, I do believe that other one got cracked or something. And I stole that off that red saw since it's basically a part saw now. So that's why it's got the red covers on. But that saw out there in that semi-trailer, that's the one my dad used to tap with. And I wish the hell I could find that adapter. I don't know what the hell ever happened to it. But like I say, I just screwed directly right onto the crankshaft and was live all the time. But I guess that's all I can think of on that saw. I'll have to get it. Well, that's the one reason, again, why I haven't played with that saw either, is because I need 32-to-1 gas, and I don't want to mix up a gallon of that and just have it set here for nothing. But then again, I guess I can always add a little more gas to it and thin it out and run it in the other saws too. Half dozen one, 6 of the other, I guess.